All right, y'all, today we're going to take a look at this boudoir photography business. Going to check out its local search, check out its city search, see if it's got BSS. And we're back in the GBC universe, taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More about that in the pin post or whatever, the main post of this profile. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. It means we're missing out on the highest, somewhere along this intent capture curve, we're missing out on the highest intent people, the lowest intent people somewhere. Usually it's the highest intent people. So over on the left, we're focusing on the highest intent people. If we're missing them, it means normally we've got BSS, boudoir search sameness. Over on the right, BLCS, that is our sister brand of boudoir FB ad doctor. Right now for a boudoir photographer spending more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. But BSS here, we're focusing on highest intent people searching for a boudoir photo shoot right now on social search and Google search. So the highest intent peeps. Now, boudoir search sameness is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. 0 slots, terrible on page 1 because we know that approximately 80% of all Google searches never go to page 2. So we care about that 80%. That's the bulk, which means we definitely got to be page 1, and then we got to maximize ourselves being on page 1. And 1 slot on page 1 Google is not good enough because everyone else on there has got 1 slot as well. So we're looking the same as everyone else. We're essentially still invisible. Now, 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google is not normal. It's extremely common, but it is not normal. We actually need to have 3 out of 10 on page 1 of Google at a minimum. That's the GBC minimum we shoot for here at the local search and the city search levels. So 0 1 slots on page 1 is not normal. It's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And those 2 deeper root causes are market saturation, which basically everyone knows about. And the second, the false belief of page 1 equality. This second part, the false belief of page 1 equality, from what I see, is the #1 killer of boudoir photography businesses. So market saturation, that means, more boudoir photographers entering the market, seems like every day. Every time someone gets a new iPhone, they're throwing up their Google My Business profile, throwing up their website. If they get a camera, they're posting in the mom groups on Facebook saying they do boudoir photo shoots now. And what does that do? That gunks up page 1 of Google search. And when that happens, then when that gets gunked up, we get pushed down to only 1 slot on page 1, or we get pushed off all the way to page 2. Now, the false belief of page 1 equality is the biggest killer because everyone believes that it's normal. Hey, I had 1 slot on page 1. Yeah, more boudoir photographers entered the market. Now I'm on page 2. I got my 1 slot on page 2. That's it. And that's simply how it goes. But no, that's a false belief because I went from 0 out of 10 slots to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search in 10 days using the solution I'm going to show today. And it's a false belief because it's not true, but it's the #1 killer boudoir photography businesses that I've seen because people just kind of relent to the fact that, market got more saturated, and what are you going to do? That's normal. We got pushed off. It is what it is. And now we also know that a boudoir photographer with BSS is a disappearing boudoir photographer. Either disappearing because they got 1 link, same as everyone else, so they kind of become invisible, boudoir search sameness, or they're kicked off page 1 completely on page 2, and it literally makes them extra invisible. And disappearing boudoir photographer, that is a precursor to a disappearing boudoir photography business. That's kind of the canary in the coal mine. So we can see our universe taking shape here. A DBP with BSS is caused by market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. Luckily, we got a solution here though, because BSS is treated with social search saturation. So it's our S-cubed methodology that we invented. And again, I use this to go from 0 out of 10 slots to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 in 10 days. And this is the only thing I've seen that is able to successfully fight back against market saturation. Here's why. So, A, people have to accept that page 1 equality is a false belief before they even use it. But B, once they use it, let's say we take it to the max, you know, GBC minimum, we're trying to get 3 out of 10 for local search and then city search using the S-cubed methodology. Well, let's say we take it to the max and, let's say there's a million boudoir photographers in our city, like Cincinnati. And we do S-cubed methodology to the max. So we're literally ranked for the highest intent keywords, the first 300 slots, on Facebook search, Instagram search, TikTok search, YouTube search. We're the only ones that can be found, and the result of that is we're also the only ones ranked the top 300 searches in Google. 10 organic searches per page times 30 pages. And even if there's a million boudoir photographers in our city, we don't even notice. Our business keeps growing because everyone else has BSS, boudoir search sameness, either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. And no matter where anyone turns, we're basically the only option they can find. So that's why, again, S-cubed methodology is the only thing I've seen that's able to successfully fight back against market saturation. Now, once you're with S-cubed methodology, we now have page 1 visibility. This means we hit our GBC minimum 3 out of the 10 organic slots. Now we're looking way different. Everyone else got 1, maybe one special person's got 2, but we got 3. I mean, we're standing out. People actually see us by the 3rd time they're scrolling down and see our name again. The second bonus is we're kicking competing boudoir photographers off page 1. Every extra link we get on page 1 kicks an extra competitor off, kicks them to page 2, effectively making them invisible because we're focusing on the approximately 80% of Google searches that never click past and actually go to page 2. Now, page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. So again, people can actually see us in the search, even though previously we were there with our 1 slot. Now we want to get there for our 3 out of 10 slots. And a boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer, which, dude, that's a precursor to anyone buying from us. If we're invisible, no one's buying from us. If we're disappearing, fewer and fewer people are buying from us. So if we're visible, and dude, this is just starting the momentum. We can continue the momentum and take 4 slots on page 1, 5 slots on page 1. Kind of as far as we can push it. It's basically as far as the strategy will take us. This is our full universe here. Declining boudoir photographer or disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation and the number 1 boudoir photography business killer, the false belief of page 1 equality. No. We can have as many slots on Google page 1 as we want to put in the effort to acquire. I've already proven it. We'll see that in the next picture. Do that by utilizing S-cubed methodology. We achieve page 1 visibility. We become visible boudoir photographers with boudoir search visibility. This is the correct track we gotta be on to become the number 1 boudoir photographers in our city. So my use using S-cubed methodology, kind of my most recent use, ranking for BLCS Boudoir. So this is for the other brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor. And got an AI overview here. Okay, that's not me yet. Then we got Google Map Pack. Now we're go to the organic. So we got Instagram, organic 1, Instagram, organic 2. Then we got organic 3, me. Organic 4, me. Organic 5, me. Organic 6, me. Organic 7, me. Organic 8, me. Organic 9, not me. Organic 10, me. So I did this in 10 days. I went from 0 out of 10 slots to 9 out of 10 slots. Page 1 of Google in 10 days. And this is all by using the S-cubed methodology. Now, main event here, we're going to take a look at this boudoir photography business. See if they got BSS for either their local search or their city search and see what's going on. So we're going to Carefree, Arizona, and Fear in Phoenix, Arizona. Carefree, Arizona. All right. Boom, we got one. And let's see. Boom, we got two. Boom, we got three. And boom, we got four. All right, so we got 4 out of 10 for local. Awesome. Let's go to city, Phoenix. Way harder to rank here in Phoenix. Let's see, we got, because it's a much larger area, way more competitors. Let's see. All right, we're at 0 out of 10. All right, so for city, or for local, we're at 4 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search. And so we do not have BSS. We've hit the GBC recommended minimum, 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search. That's good. So dominating local here. City, we got 0 out of 10. So we do have BSS. So we're at 0 or 1 slots, page 1 Google search. And basically, we're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, you've done the local search for yourself for the highest intent buyer keywords and the highest intent, and you've done the city search for yourself for the highest intent buyer keywords. And you have BSS for one or both of them, or you have not met the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 page 1 Google slots for one or both of them. And you understand the market saturation. Yeah, people get new gear. Okay, more boudoir photographers always over time. It's always increasing. And you want to kick out those current competitors. And you're seeing SQ'd methodology is the only path to successfully do that. But you're also thinking ahead of, man, AI is taking more and more people's jobs, it seems, every day. So if AI is taking more and more people's jobs every day, then there's probably going to be more and more. It's going to be like the third prong of things that's pushing more boudoir photographers. And it's not just new iPhone or new camera. It's now losing jobs due to AI. So you see, okay, more and more boudoir photographers going to be entering the market. We actually want to increase the kind of pre-fortify our position before this monster tsunami or kind of this increasing wave of new boudoir photographers enters the market, competing with us for page 1. Want to pre-fortify our positions in expectation. That kind of like the levees in New Orleans. I think it's like the built-up sandbag things to keep the ocean at bay because the city is below sea level. And we actually want to decide you want to pre-fortify your position, to also pre-fortify your position on Google page 1 to all the new boudoir photographers that will eventually be coming in because more and more people lose their job to AI. And you're also seeing, hey, S-cubed methodology is the only path for that. You've accepted that page 1 equality is a false belief, and Google will actually give us as many slots on page 1 as we want to put in the effort to take. So you've accepted the false belief of page 1 inequality is false. So you want to use S-cubed methodology, you see as the only solution, and you want the page 1 visibility. You want to become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility because you need this on your way to becoming the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. And you also want the 2 hidden back-end benefits of successfully executing S-cubed methodology every single day, which is kind of the more we execute it, the keywords that we use that we're starting to rank for, show up social search for, saturate that, show up Google page 1 for. It's basically building thematic keyword columns attached to our entire internet brand, our social accounts, our website, out there in the minds of AI. So every single day we successfully execute S-cubed methodology, we actually increase the probability that AI overview here recommends us. And Google still is about 90% of search, slowly decreasing every day though. So higher chance we get the the premium placement slot here, AI overview, because it's pulling from, our frequency, our density, our authority, our age of these different thematic keyword columns that S-cube allows us to tackle. So increase in probability of being shown up here and increase in probability of being showing up for all the AI search apps, ChatGPT search, Claude, Perplexity, and we got Microsoft Copilot search, Google Gemini search. So kind of all this hidden back-end AI brain momentum every single day. It's kind of building up momentum every single day we execute methodology. And you're seeing, since my plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city, that you know you decide you want to hop on this first, be a first mover, because every single day we execute methodology correctly. We're getting the initial benefits, the quick future benefits, and the longer term momentum AI brain recommendation benefits, building up the momentum, and you're putting massive, massive, massive gap between you and all the current competitors, and definitely all the ones that have not entered yet, but we know they will because AI will be taking a bunch of people's jobs. And so you want all that, and you also see if some other boudoir photographer in your same city were to work with me instead, that you would actually have to rederive, figure out SQ'd methodology on your own, and you would never actually know if you've rederived it correctly. And then you'd have to go equal our execution every single day, execute an SQ methodology, which you'd have to equal our effort and you'd have to be confident in it, which you would not have 100% confidence because you would not know if you've even derived SQ methodology correctly in the first place. And to do all that effort, you would simply be maintaining the gap me and your competitor have always already built up against you. To actually close the gap, you'd have to double or triple outwork us every single day to close that gap. Basically, kind of steal back that thematic keyword column momentum attached to your competitor's brand in the AI brain, the AI search brain, for all these AI apps, and pull it back to your brand. And so you decide, okay, screw that. I'd rather just be the first mover and not be dealing with the laggard position of not being, the number one boudoir photographer in my city, because I know a ton of boudoir photographers going to be entering because of AI taking Peep's job. So if that's you, shoot me a DM. When I open my DMs for new patient intake, the hospital is currently closed. We're not currently taking in any new patients. But when I do open the hospital for new patient intake, shoot me a DM and we'll see if you qualify for using S-cubed methodology.